In Parshas Yisro, we read about the giving of the Torah, that Hashem gave the Jewish people the Torah on Har Sinai, and more specifically the 10 Commandments, which were written on the Luchos that were given to Moshe to give to the Jewish people. Now, the delivery of these 10 Commandments seemed to have been done in a very strange way. First, Hashem said one mitzvah of Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God. And our sages teach us that without one utterance, all 613 mitzvahs were said, which seems to us impossible, how when we hear one sentence, 613 sentences come out with it. But that's the way Hashem did it, and only afterwards did he reiterate specifically the 10 commandments and the rest of the mitzvahs. Then Hashem got to the first 2 specific commandments. I am Hashem your God, don't have any other gods, and again he said them as one. We heard them as 2 separate mitzvahs, but Hashem said them as one. Then Hashem got to the positive and the negative about Shabbos. Zachar asiyam Shabbos lakach, remember Shabbos, and guard Shabbos from doing things that you're not supposed to do on Shabbos. As we know, and we say the L'chadodi prayer on Friday night, Shamar v'zachar b'dibur echad, the positive and the negative about Shabbos also were given in one utterance, and for us we heard them as 2 utterances because we don't know how to hear 2 things delivered to us together. So this begs the question, if our brains can't handle hearing one utterance, one statement of Hashem telling us 2 statements, then why did he do it? Our brains anyways, I had to translate this as 2 things. Our brains anyways couldn't handle the first command telling us all 613 commands. So why did Hashem do it in such a way that he gave us first everything and then later unpacked it? That he gave us the first 2 commandments together, and we had to unpack that unpack them as separate. The 2 commands of Shabbos he gave to us together, and then we had to notice them as one positive and one negative. Why not just give them to us as one positive and one negative? That's the question. And the answer is very fundamental, which is there's 2 ways of experiencing the mitzvahs of Judaism. How many mitzvahs are there? One approach is there's 613 mitzvahs. There's 613 different things that Hashem wants a Jew to do. And I have to do this, I can't do this, etc., etc., etc. I have a compartmentalized way of experiencing my life and my Judaism, and I have a big checklist of things to do. But the ultimate experience of Judaism, says Hashem, is there's not 613 mitzvahs. There's one mitzvah. Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God. I want a relationship with you. These are the steps towards building a relationship with me. So I don't experience it. I don't need to go through a checklist of 613 mitzvahs. I need to develop a loving relationship with one God. I do that possibly through 613 steps. But that's a whole different experience. That's a much more wholesome, godly, authentic relationship Judaism, not just checklist Judaism. More specifically, within how to experience the boundaries that Torah sets, or the negative mitzvahs. Do not eat non-kosher. Don't break Shabbos. There's 2 ways of experiencing negative mitzvahs. One way is, a negative mitzvah is a harsh no. Do not eat non-kosher. Do not eat pig, etc., etc. Or, you have a special soul. You have a special connection to me as God. Therefore, do not eat pig. Therefore, do not break Shabbos. In the negative, I could either experience the negative as negative, again, narrowly looking what exactly does the mitzvah say, and that is exactly what I have to do. Or I could notice that this mitzvah that Hashem wants me to do is part of that big, grand, beautiful relationship with us. And in the no, I don't need to hear the no. In the no, I could hear the yes to Hashem's relationship. To Hashem telling me, you Jewish people are dignified. You are royalty, and royalty holds itself to certain standards. The standard isn't there to repress you. The standard is there to uphold your preciousness and your dignity. To not compromise the real you towards a more crass, shallow version of yourself. So why did Hashem give us all these mitzvahs as one? To notice that Judaism is not about the 613 diverse mitzvahs, but it's about the one relationship with Him. And in every positive and negative mitzvah, He wants us to realize that in the negative, don't hear the negative. In the negative, hear the positive. In the negative, hear that I believe in you. I hold you to a high degree. I notice you as something special, and therefore don't compromise that. You're made of special stuff. When you hear Shamar, don't break Shabbos, and the same sentence, you need to realize that comes with Zachar. I want to give you a special day of rest. I want to give you a day to recharge your battery and to resort back to what's real and to stop the hustle bustle. When you hear do not serve idols, don't just hear do not serve idols. In the same sentence, Hashem says, don't serve idols because I am Hashem your God and I want to be part of your life. And that's a much more godly way of experiencing the no's and the boundaries of Judaism. In the no, I hear the yes. This is similar, we say that on Har Sinai, the experience of giving of the Torah was like the marriage between Hashem and the Jewish people. What is a marriage in Judaism? A marriage is referred to as Kiddushin. The word Kiddushin, explains the Gemara, is the Asar la akule amaka hektish. The man marries, is Mekadesh his wife, which means that he restricts her from a relationship with any other man. Is marriage just restriction? No. We all know marriage is a very special union between man and wife where they literally become one, build their own family, and they take a relationship from a relationship of two people to really bonding and becoming one. Yes, you see what expresses that oneness in the fact that now she's reserved for this man and can be with no other man. But the restrictions of marriage can't be viewed as just restrictions. Marriage is viewed as a union which is expressed through restrictions. And so too, that has to be our experience in Judaism in general. The Torah did not come to stifle us. Torah did not come to put us in chains. Torah came to marry us to Hashem, and what expresses the special union that a Jew has with Hashem is where we say no. Where we say no says more yes, sometimes even where we say yes. It shows how deep our bond, how special our bond is with Hashem, that these boundaries hold on to that specialty and don't compromise it. There's a famous argument between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yishmael when Hashem gave positive and negative mitzvahs. How did the Jews respond? Rabbi Yishmael said, when Hashem said a positive mitzvah, put on tefillin, the Jews said yes. When Hashem said a negative mitzvah, do not murder, the Jews said no, we will not. Rabbi Akiva says, on the positive mitzvahs, put on tefillin, the Jews said yes. When Hashem said do not murder, the Jews said yes, we will listen. Why did one say no, we will not murder? Why did one say yes, we will listen? Again, when I hear no, when I hear Hashem say do not murder, am I hearing something negative, a chain, do not murder? Or am I hearing yes, Hashem, I want to relate to you over there too, and therefore I will not murder? In the no, I don't only have to hear no, in the no I could hear yes. I'm going to say no because I realize there's yes. I realize the specialty and the uniqueness of this. There's a nice story over here between two brothers, Reb Zusha and Reb Elimelech, who were one time thrown in prison in Russia for doing good Jewish things. And in their prison cell there was a toilet. And one of the brothers was crying because he wasn't able to daven. And his brother told him, there's one Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says we need to daven to Hashem. Shulchan Aruch also says that when there's a toilet, we cannot daven to Hashem. So the same God we serve when we daven, that same God we serve now by not davening because there's a toilet over here. So we're serving God in the same way. They started dancing. They made a whole commotion because they were so elevated on this idea. The guard came in and said, what are these Jews so excited about? The non-Jews in the cell said, I don't know, something about the toilet is inspiring them in their relationship with Hashem. The guard said he's going to teach them a lesson. He took out the toilet and then they were able to daven again. In the not davening, they saw the depth of their relationship with Hashem, possibly even more than in the yes davening. And this is a lesson, a huge lesson we should take for ourselves in our own approaches to Judaism, and more specifically in how we educate our children and our students. Oftentimes when we just say hard, cold no, these days children resist that, and it's very hard for them to take it. But ideal, godly way of saying no is that when I tell my child no, what they're hearing is yes. They're hearing, I believe in you. They're hearing that you have more to you than doing this. Don't compromise yourself in this, no. I love you, and therefore no. I care about you, and therefore no. And behind the no, they have to hear a yes. They have to hear no. Children do need boundaries, but the boundaries can't just be hard, cold boundaries. The boundaries have to be strong, straight boundaries with the soul behind the no has to be a yes. How I love you, how I care about you, how I believe in you, how I don't want to compromise your dignity. I heard one time a crazy story, and I will end with this. This is from Rabbi Dr. Shimon Russell, who says he spoke to one of the big Rabbanim in Eretz Yisrael about a boy who was struggling with a relationship with another girl, and the parents were trying to break them up, and it wasn't working. And he asked the Rav what to do. And the Rav says, when this boy looks in this girl's eyes, and he sees a special look, he sees a look of love, When he looks in his parents' eyes, does he see any more love than he sees in those girls' eyes? If not, they're not going to be able to stop him. If for the parents to tell the boy no to the girl, he has to see in their eyes more love and more cherishedness than he sees in her eyes, and only then, only after seeing the yes, the love in their eyes, can he say no to the girl. Very powerful story. And when we're mechanech in this way, it works much deeper, it works much more wholesome, and even our nose and our boundaries that we put with our children ends up creating a deep bond, a deep respect, and yes, even a deep love from our children when they hear such a no from us. Have a great Shabbos.